response to my question about the most memorable event associated with the club was meeting Robert Taylor at the ghastly networking event and introducing him to the club. Thank God they went to this ghastly event. Delivering a speech entitled How One Phone Call Changed Everything, please welcome to the stage Claudia Phelan.
A few years ago, I found myself at the height of the holiday season in Malaga Airport, surrounded by tourists, looking for a lost cat in an airport. Mr. Toastmaster, members and guests. I will get back to the cat in a minute, but I want to tell you about how it all began. It began with a phone call. I was on the phone to a friend and I was really fed up. And I said, I just want to escape. No, she said, don't escape. It's a bad way to look at it. Look at it as going in a new direction. Think of something that you really, really, really want to do and do it. I acted on her advice. And as a result, I found a home from home, a three-legged mutt, and a lifelong friendship. To start with, I looked all over the world at websites for dog refuges, and I found it. And it mostly what drew me in was the founder of this place, Fabienne, whose passion literally shone out from this website. It's hard to describe, but I knew I found the place I wanted to be. I started by sponsoring a dog, and then a few years later, I went out on a visit. It wasn't the best of starts. The night before I arrived, there had been a terrible storm and a landslide, and they'd lost almost everything. So my first week there was spent with a broom in hand, knee-deep in mud, helping to clear up. But it was the first of many visits to my wonderful home from home. It's mad, it's wonderful, and you never know what's going to happen from one minute to the next. You could be sitting in the office helping out, and the next minute you're in a car, rushing along the motorway, looking for a dog that's decided to play in the traffic. Or you could be rushing to the emergency vet, or, as I said at the beginning, you could be chasing around an airport, heart in mouth, looking for a lost cat. That's another story that I'll tell another time. But we did find Lucio, he did make his flight, and he is now happily in a forever home. The wonderful thing about this place is the people and the whole idea of it. The saddest thing about it is the killing stations. There's the joy of rescuing an animal, but there's the terrible heartbreak of all those you have to leave behind. But now I'll move on to my second gift, the gift of my three-legged mutt, called Teddy Edward, but I wish I'd called him Keith. I don't know why, but I think Keith is a better name. Teddy Edward has got 3 legs, and when I was there all the time at this refuge, they kept saying, you need a dog of your own, you need a dog of your own. Well, I hesitated for a long, long time. I resisted it. And of course, when I did finally succumb and adopt him, I sort of knew why I had, because it's not easy if you're used to being a free agent and you're suddenly responsible for a 3-legged mutt. And it was really, really hard. It was such a challenge. I nearly gave him back. I would never have done that, but it crossed my mind. But of course, now I'm really, really happy to have my little mutt. And he has been such a joy during this COVID outbreak. And finally, we come to my third gift, which was the gift of friendship with my wonderful friend, Fabienne. Fabienne Pack has been operating for 20 years with nothing but donations and volunteers. She has built up an organization from nothing to 3 really respected organizations in Holland, Belgium, and Spain. She has to date rehomed over 23,000 dogs, and she's done that in the face of the most amazing difficulties. She's had to contend with forest fires, droughts, landslides, attempts to close her, constant battling with the authorities who put every possible obstacle in the way. And now she's got to deal with COVID as well, which could have completely shut her down, but it didn't. So eventually, she is for me an inspiration every day. But more than that, it's her friendship I value. I value her friendship above everything, and it's very dear to me. So if any of you are ever in a situation where you're completely fed up, don't know where to turn, you don't need to give up your job. I didn't. But if you think of something that you really have an inkling to do, you really have a feeling you really like to do something, just try it. Because I did. I'm really glad I did. And I ended up with a home from home, a three-legged mutt, and an enduring friendship, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you.